Developments in the Aaron Hernandez case came fast and furiously last week with a very public arrest and arraignment for murder. But now the investigation continues quietly behind the scenes, and the suspect himself remains behind bars. Bristol County Sheriff Thomas Hodgson is the man in charge at the House of Corrections, and he's here to tell us how Hernandez, other inmates, and the staff are taking stock of the situation. Thanks, Sheriff, for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So you met with Aaron Hernandez, and you said he's acclimating well.
Yeah, he's surprisingly, for someone who's not been institutionalized, he seems to be very sort of normal and confident and not at all appearing nervous, and very polite and respectful, but seems to be integrating pretty well.
I find that so bizarre. As someone that had his whole life ahead of him as a professional football player, of course he may be acquitted, but I would think you'd have to be in total denial to be calm and acclimated at this stage of his situation.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We have people who react differently when they come in, and I think it has something to do with perhaps how they've grown up. It may have to do with their ability to be able to, some people are able to block things out and sort of flip them and put a positive spin on them somehow. I don't know how one could find too much positive, and particularly from where he came. He left a 7,100 square foot home, and he's being housed in a 7-foot by 10-foot cell.
Yeah, a very, very tiny cell. Now, when he first came, he was in a single cell.
That's right. He was in the medical unit, in a single cell with a bed and a toilet sink combination.
And where's he now?
Now he's in a what we call a special management unit, where he's in a single cell, but now he has a bunk bed in there and no roommate, and now he has a desk, and he has a small desk and a toilet sink combination. Do
you meet with all the prisoners, by the way, or do you meet with Hernandez because he was sort of a special case?
Well, in his case, he was coming in as a high-profile person. I wanted to introduce myself to him, let him know that he wasn't going to be treated any differently than any other inmate, that he would expect the same procedures and policies to follow along. If he had issues, to let us know. When somebody's a high-profile person coming into a prison, you have to be very careful because sometimes you'll have people that will be trying to raise their own stature inside of a prison, where they think someone may be important or have a status.
So he's alone right now for most of the day.
That's right.
So what happens from the time he gets up in the morning to the time he goes to bed? What's his day?
Well, when he was in the medical unit for about 5 days, he was 1 hour out of his cell for a shower and phones. Now he's in this smaller unit with more inmates, where only one person's allowed out of the cell at a time. He has 3 hours of rec as opposed to 1. He will have
3 hours of rec means what?
Well, he'll have 1 hour where he can take shower and phone calls. He'll have another hour at a different part of the day where he'll be able to walk in the inside common area of that unit, alone, of course, no other inmates. And then the third hour would be for outside recreation in a small yard off of that unit, where he will be able to get fresh air and be able to walk.
And what's in that common area? Is that where the TV is?
There is no TV.
There's no TV?
No TV.
So he's not watching TV?
No TV.
Can he read?
He can read. He has access to our book exchange. He has access to the commissary if he wants to order something from the commissary if he has money. He has access to visits. He's allowed, like any other inmate, to give us 5 names of individuals he wants to come visit. They have to go through our security clearance once they're cleared.
Not including the lawyer?
Not including the lawyers.
Okay.
So and he's allowed 1 hour of visits a week.
So what about the internet?
Oh, no internet.
No internet. So basically, you're in your cell with a couple of books.
If you want to read.
Do you know if he's read anything? If you saw what he's reading?
I don't. I think he likes to read. He indicated to me he does like to read. So.
Can you get magazines? Sports Illustrated?
No, he wouldn't be getting those.
No.
We have a book exchange. He can access that.
What kind of books?
We have all kinds of books. Tuesdays with Maury. We have various books we've had donated to us, all appropriate, of course.
So is it different? You mentioned before that when you're a high-profile person, it is a different situation. But I wonder whether, well, why is he alone? Why is he alone? Why is he not with everybody else?
That's a great question. First of all, you have to remember, this is an individual who on Sunday afternoons would walk into a stadium of thousands and thousands of people who revered him or were cheering for him, and then now he's walked into a prison door where he's given a number, a uniform that nobody's cheering for. So this is a big transition for someone who was in a pretty luxurious place in life, and a lot of fame to coming into a prison. We need to monitor that as we have him transitioning in, because today he might see that, okay, I got a simple meal, tomorrow maybe, but as he starts to sink in, we watch for changes in demeanor, anxiousness, frustration, withdrawal. All of those things are things that we want to carefully assess when somebody's going through it. And because he's had such a drastic lifestyle change, it's critically important for us to pay very close attention.
What's a typical meal at your prison?
I think his first night he had some American chop suey and a little bit of green beans and a slice of bread.
With butter?
There may have been butter, probably.
Okay. You get dessert?
We don't. Once in a while, we'll have a little piece of cake or something, or a cookie. Yeah, we don't have coffee. There's no coffee at our place. We don't. It's too expensive for the taxpayer. We don't have fried foods. They're all nutritionally based meals. Certainly not anything I'm sure he's used to. Most people aren't.
And when is lights out?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So it could be a long time before the legal process takes its course and he's at a trial, if there is, in fact, a trial. So will he be with the general populace? I would imagine you much prefer to be with the general populace than alone.
Well, of course, all inmates would want to. Right now, he's now going to be able to be exposed where he wasn't in the medical unit. When he's walking in that general area of the unit, the other inmates can come to the door of their cell, and there's a window they can see out, and they can even speak through that door. But
they must know he's there.
They know he's there.
Is anybody giving a shout out, go Pats, or anything like that?
Well, no, not yet. But we've had people calling actually to come visit him who don't even know him. But in the case where he's in the unit, he won't be able to walk up to that cell door and start conversing with that inmate. But we want to see how the inmates in that unit are reacting to him, and we also want to see how he reacts to them if they are shouting out or whatever's going on, even though it's a restricted unit.
Well, wouldn't somebody want to make a name for himself by taking on Aaron Hernandez, the famous football player? Wouldn't that be a...
Well, that's a thing you always have to watch for in prison. And it doesn't even have to be a star football player. It could be somebody in a community, in a neighborhood that maybe had gotten some stature amongst groups there, where when they came in, they were sort of seen as one of the big leaders in a group in a neighborhood, and someone wants to raise their stature by saying, hey, I'm going to give this guy a hard time, so I look like I'm a tough guy. So that's prison life, and that's what you have. We are responsible for monitoring and taking care of.
Sheriff, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
For being with us. I much appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.